We all know the image. A man in a cape, defying gravity, soaring through the skies with ease. No jetpack, no wings, just willpower and sunlight. But how does that actually work? Birds flap, rockets burn fuel, but humans, we fall, unless something breaks the laws of physics as we know them. Today, we're putting Superman under the scientific microscope, asking, could a body really be powered by our yellow sun? And more importantly, could that power make you fly? Let's start with what makes Superman, well, super. Our yellow sun. Our sun is a G-type main sequence star. It blasts Earth with around 1,400 watts of solar energy per square meter. For us, that means sunburns and photosynthesis. But for Superman? His Kryptonian biology may have evolved, or been engineered, to absorb and convert this radiation with near-total efficiency. Think living solar panel, or maybe even living nuclear reactor. Imagine his cells are packed with something like hypermitochondria, organelles that don't just make adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, the biochemical energy source that keeps your cells functioning. Instead, what if his mitochondria could manipulate quantum fields? They wouldn't burn sugars, they'd bend reality. That solar energy might charge internal storage nodes, biological capacitors storing gigajoules of power, enough to match the output of a jet engine, or maybe a small power plant. We're talking about dermal photoreactive tissue, skin that doesn't just tan, it transcends, a living interface between starlight and superhuman function. Under a red sun like Krypton's, this process would shut down. But under our yellow sun, his body becomes a self-sustaining energy-gathering platform, a kind of bioelectromagnetic engine just waiting to be unleashed. And unlike a reactor that needs constant refueling, Superman may only need a few hours of solar saturation to level a mountain. Unlike humans, he was utilizing green energy long before the phrase was even coined. Now, absorbing solar energy is just step one. The real question is, how does Superman's body turn that energy into controlled, sustained flight? Let's start with structure. A human body is not built for flight. Bones fracture under stress, muscles fatigue. Superman's physiology would have to be on an entirely different level. His bones, likely ultra-dense, not calcium-based like ours, but maybe composed of some exotic carbon nanotube latticework, or even a Kryptonian alloy-based biomatrix, giving them steel-level strength with feather-light mass. His muscles, engineered for performance beyond biology. Imagine a musculature that functions like quantum tension cables, converting solar energy directly into kinetic force without ATP. No lactic acid, no exhaustion, just continuous silent power. Then there's the nervous system. To fly, Superman needs to make constant micro-adjustments mid-air. We're talking light-speed neural transmission, maybe even a quantum neural net, where thought and action blur into one instantaneous response. Don't forget respiration. Up in the stratosphere, there's almost no oxygen, but Superman's lungs might work like superconducting pressure chambers, compressing and recycling air at the molecular level. Or he simply doesn't need to breathe at all. Oxygen replaced by pure energy cycling through his cells. Here's where it gets interesting. All of that still doesn't explain lift. No wings, no thrust. So maybe he's got something else. A specialized organ, let's call it a graviton node, that allows his body to interface with gravitational fields directly. Imagine a biological structure that manipulates local gravity the way an electric eel manipulates voltage. It could reduce his mass, cancel inertia, or even create a repulsive gravitational bubble, letting him float, accelerate, and stop on a dime. Evolution has given animals sonar, magnetoreception, electrolocation. Why not gravity sensing or gravity generation in a highly evolved Kryptonian species? He's not just fighting gravity, he's commanding it. A body built to be a solar-powered gravitational engine. Flight in this model isn't a reaction to forces, it's direct manipulation of them. The laws of physics still apply. But when you've rewritten the biological rules from the ground up, Flight isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Even with enhanced biology, one problem remains: physics. Superman doesn't flap wings, he doesn't push off anything, he's not wearing a rocket pack. So how exactly does he take off from the ground and just go? Let's say he weighs about 220 pounds, or around 100 kilograms. To lift off Earth, he has to overcome 980 newtons of gravitational force. That's like pushing a large motorcycle straight up into the air, with no visible source of thrust. One theory: he's manipulating gravity itself, not just resisting it, redefining how it interacts with his body. If Superman has a biological way to generate or distort gravitational fields, like a localized anti-gravity pulse, he could effectively create lift by reducing the pull of Earth around him. This is speculative, but not impossible. Scientists have theorized about gravitons, hypothetical particles that mediate gravity. If Superman can emit or control them, flight becomes less a matter of propulsion and more a matter of turning gravity off. Remember that graviton node from earlier? Think of it like a natural Higgs field tuner, adjusting his mass and inertia in real time. Next question: how does he stop mid-flight without being liquefied by his own momentum? This is the same question surrounding unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAPs, that seem to go from a complete standstill to supersonic speed. A normal human would be flattened like a pancake under such G-forces, so how can Superman do it? This suggests the ability for something even more amazing: inertia dampening. If he can suppress his own inertial mass, he wouldn't be crushed by G-forces during rapid acceleration or sudden stops. His body might behave like it's in a pocket of its own altered spacetime. This could be achieved through a quantum gravitational field, warping the fabric of spacetime in a tiny, localized region. This is what has been theorized about the observed movements of UAPs. The ability to manipulate gravity and thereby offsetting its effects on a body moving at high velocity would mean that Superman could move in any direction at any speed. But all of this overlooks one key component: his brain. We assume that since he looks like us, his mind must be similar to ours, but there is no reason to think that. In fact, maybe Superman's mind isn't just processing information. Maybe it's so fundamentally different than ours that he has the ability to control reality itself. If his consciousness is somehow quantum entangled with his body's gravity field, flight could be guided not by force, but by will. We're talking about something like controlled psychokinesis, no longer flying by reacting to the world, but by reshaping it around him. What if the real secret to Superman's flight was not his body, but his mind? A mind that acted as a conscious field, not just reacting to gravity and energy, but commanding them. Modern physics is starting to ask, what role does consciousness play in the structure of reality? Some quantum interpretations suggest that observation shapes physical outcomes. Could Superman's mind collapse probability waves into motion? If his consciousness operates at a quantum coherent level, maybe his neural network doesn't just process thought, it broadcasts it, like a biological quantum field generator. In this model, flight isn't about pushing against air or gravity. It's about projecting intention, literally telling spacetime where his body should be next. Thought becomes trajectory, emotion becomes velocity, willpower becomes vector. In this scenario, Superman's muscles and skeletal structure are not overcoming the resistance of the natural laws, but circumventing them through telekinetic projection. It would be as though the mental projection of his place in the space-time continuum was a zeptosecond, or a trillionth of a billionth of a second faster than his physical presence. Just as our brains constantly update our nervous system based on input from our senses, Superman's brain could do the same through updating his body's presence within the physical world. By syncing his biofield with local gravitational or electromagnetic harmonics, he may ride reality like a wave, not forcing flight, but flowing through it. To us, it looks like flying, but to him, It might just feel like deciding where to be and reality complies. The dream of flight has been with humans since the dawn of time. From gliders to supersonic aircraft, man has continually reached further into the heavens. But the ability to fly, to take off from the ground and soar into the air, has been fantasy and myth of cultures around the world for millennia. With solar-charged biology or gravity warping organs, Superman's extraterrestrial body could possibly benefit from a sun like ours. Perhaps in the future, our understanding of the universe will elucidate the mechanics of such a possibility. But it is the idea that his ability to fly is driven by a consciousness-powered navigation, a telekinetic ability to project his body in any direction at will, which is the most radical. Riding gravity waves across space and time like an intergalactic surfer whose consciousness is entwined with reality at the quantum level. As Superman's species evolved in another solar system, the forces of evolution shaped his brain and its cognitive abilities to operate on his home planet of Krypton. Someday, when humans eventually reach another solar system dominated by a different type of sun than our own, maybe our cognitive capacities will likewise propel us to superhuman feats. Perhaps one day, we just might find out. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Only on Crotonium.